So this bug is for enemies wandering, and I think I actually know exactly what's going on in every case that this is happening. So here in the beach area, what's going on is these enemies are trying to go back to their wander centers. So this might be a bug related to the one that I had made for Peter, for when enemies get to a certain point from chasing and then they try to go back home and they get stuck trying to go home. And that might be the case for the Stingit here, but I don't see why that would be the case for the Buffshroom here, because they don't actually have an aggro range. They just wander around non-stop and inflict collision damage. So you can see this guy's trying to go straight back to home, and he's getting stuck doing that. And then this guy is also trying to go home, and he's getting stuck trying to go home. So I don't know why the Buffshrooms are trying to go home when they should never go home. Because functionally they don't become aggressive. And then we're getting stuck here as well. And I think what is happening here is the Chirpy is a new layer, enemy flying. And I think whatever checks we were having before to determine if something was or was not able to reach its waypoint was within its own layer, so enemies could check against other enemies to see if they were in the way of each other. However, because the Chirpy is a flying unit and the Buffshroom is a just standard enemy unit, they're fighting against each other because they don't know how to cancel their raid cast when bumping against each other. So I think that is a relative issue between enemy and enemy flying for the wandering system. I'm trying to find like any others that have broken, and because I've had the game playing non-stop for almost 2 hours now, so it's like we're getting to the edge case scenarios. And this guy is doing a really good job. This is a pinch point that I put in on purpose and put him here, and for 2 hours he has never got stuck in a pinch point. So for some reason he's doing great. And you can see he's like kind of getting fudged up in the corners a little bit, but then he figures his shit out and moves. This guy stuck. So okay, this guy is also trying to get back to his home. So there's something in the code where they're trying to get home and it's fucking them up. These guys are stuck. And they're going against each other because they're probably both enemy flying. Yep. So you can see, like, it's kind of hard to see right now if I can disable this tree, or I'll move it. So what's happening, because they're both enemy flying, they're trying to fly into each other. So whatever check we had for enemies, we need to add that check for enemy flying as well, so that they don't keep trying to fly into or move into one another and block each other. So that is consistent with what we see here. This enemy flying unit is colliding with the unit that is just standard enemy. They're getting stuck. So we kind of have two issues. We have go home issue for this guy, and this guy. And this guy up here. So they're all trying to go home and getting stuck. Then we also have a collision issue of enemy flying. So here, guys,